Welcome to another episode of Entrepreneurs on Fuego. We are documenting the journey of amazing entrepreneurs such as Catherine. Watch my French accent, all right? You ready?
I'm ready.
Lafee.
Very good.
I know it's very good because I don't speak French, but you just taught me off camera. You taught me how to pronounce your last name, so I'm cheating, man.
That's
how
right.
You doing?
Did good.
I was going to say Catherine is my wife's last, not last name, but her first name, but it's not. And then I thought, I had to think about this. Her name is Kathleen, not Catherine.
Okay.
So, false alarm there. How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Yeah?
Good.
You doing all right?
Yes.
You're a financial planner.
Yes.
What does that mean? What do you do? You take people's money, you invest it, you make 12%, 15% returns from. What do you do?
Not so much.
Tell us a little bit about what you do.
So I work with people
Yeah.
and try and help them develop a strategy to get them to retirement if that's what they want to do, or if they just want to get to college for their kids, whatever their goals are, but we develop a strategy. That's the starting point.
Do your hands sweat whenever the market is going up and down and it's falling 329 points and you're like, I don't want to make that phone call, man. Does that happen to you?
Yes, it definitely makes it a little harder, and it makes you're right. It makes that phone call harder, but it also gives you an opportunity to sit down with people and really figure out what they want to do. When things are going well, everybody has high risk tolerance. Everybody's okay.
Right.
When you get into environments like this is where the rubber meets the road, so to speak.
But isn't it though? Whenever there is tough times, it doesn't matter whether it's the financial industry, the stock market, but just on your personal life, when there is something that is happening that is very tough. That's sailors are made whether when there's a storm out there, not on the dock, right?
That's right.
And that's what your character shows.
Yeah.
And you're a fascinating individual, and that's why you're here on Entrepreneurs on Fuego, man. How you doing?
Thank you. Good.
How you doing?
Good.
You see, you're doing fine, man. You see, for the first time in an interview, you're right. You're right there.
I don't know. Okay.
How do you listen? This show is all about your journey. So. You've been at this for, 30 plus years, correct?
I've not been an advisor or a planner for that long. I've been in the investment industry for 30 plus years. My background is trading. I was an equity trader for my whole career. I started in Toronto, which is where I'm from.
Right.
And I was an institutional trader. So my clients were hedge funds, pension funds.
Was this around the Michael Milken days?
Yeah, I was around. I've been around a long time. Yes, I remember Michael Milken.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
I mean, Drexel Berman and Lambert,
yes.
man.
So you have been, yes, because very few people would know that. Very few people would know that.
That's our job,
man. But
man.
if you're not in this industry, in the investment industry, very few people would know.
It was a fascinating time.
Yes.
It was a fascinating time.
Yes, it was.
How things, and this is a brilliant man.
Yes, because he's still around.
He's still around, and he kept some of his millions,
yes,
right?
He did. Yes.
He didn't keep his to pay, but he kept some of his millions.
Definitely.
And so you started this amazing time because it was the go-go 80s, right?
Yeah.
And how did that influence your investment personality today, knowing what you know now?
So I think the biggest thing was, because I was very young, first of all, back in the 80s, I was very young. But the biggest thing was I realized that through all the ups and downs of the market, it goes on. What I say to people now, if I was to show you a long-term chart of the market, you couldn't find 1987. The crash happened, and the market's lost about 60% in about a 2-week period. You could not point that out to me. So
October 19th, 1987. Of course.
But when you're in it, like we are now, when the market's very volatile and there's a lot going on, and people get into this panic stage, the reality is, and it sounds so cliche, but you have to have time horizon. You have to have perspective. And that's what that time period taught me, is perspective.
Catherine, is that where your expertise and your talking about character comes in that even before you take penny one or dollar one, then you sit down with that individual and say, look, I know that you tell me that you have a 10 to 15% risk tolerance, but trust me, these are volatile times. I can't predict. I don't have a crystal ball. Whoever lives by the crystal ball eats glasses, as they say in the financial industry.
Yes.
But that's what you need to do, right?
Yes.
Be honest with yourself, Mr. Investor or Mrs. Investor, because there's going to be ups and downs.
Yeah, you really have to walk people through what may happen. Because as you said, when things are going well,
Right.
everything's fine, everybody's risk
You're a
tolerance
hero,
is very
man.
high. But when it gets into these periods, but one of the things that my background affords me is to be able to at least look and explain why things are happening. I can't tell you what's going to happen per se, but I can put perspective as to why the markets are doing what they're doing, because I was trained to look at everything from a macro perspective. And so you kind of drill down. So although we're planning, I can help them understand if this happens and that happens, this is what you can look for. So not only for their personal finance, but really, in their business and everything. Because if you don't understand why things are happening, then you just get caught up in all the headlines and all the hype. And there's a lot behind every move.
But it's difficult, though,
Yeah.
to have that perspective, though, right?
Well, so having the perspective, there's a lot of information. There's a lot of really good information,
Right.
and a lot of really bad information.
Yep.
And I've been very fortunate that I still have a lot of very good information that is available to me. But I think that you really do have to understand why things are happening, because it affects every part of your life. And so if you start with planning, if you actually start with the planning and not just selling products and things like that, then you have a base. And from the base, you go forward. When things like this happen, you can adjust that. You can adjust the plan, but at least you have something you're working with. The problem with a lot of people is they just kind of throw things at the wall and hope something sticks. So again, in the good times it works, but in the
Right.
bad times, not so much.
Do you have that client that knows more about you? That because
That knows more than I do?
Exactly. Oh,
Well, and I'm sure there are lots of people that know more than I do, but
knows more about, because
Yeah.
we have so much access to information nowadays. I mean, my goodness, we can find out exactly what China is doing at this point, what the market, what the same guy is doing, and we can find this out by the click of a button, right?
Yeah.
And so somebody might dial you up at 7 o'clock in the morning and go, oh my goodness, we got to buy this, or we got to trade this, we got to do this and that.
yeah. I do have a couple of clients that are very, very smart. They're involved in the market and options and things like that.
Do you trade options?
I don't so much. They are way above me on that front. But it almost hurts you in a way because you almost know too much. And so that becomes a different. So we actually work well together because I can kind of rein them back in.
Right.
Kind of stop themselves from getting too caught up in the nitty-gritty. It's not that they don't know, because they do, but you can, again, perspective is everything. You can lose perspective, your emotions get involved, and I can kind of rein that back in.
How do you keep your emotions in check, Catherine? Because
Not
look,
so much.
it's
No, it's hard.
If we have to look at the last 30, 40 days,
Yeah,
we've
it's very
looked
hard.
at upswings and downswings in this market, 3-4%. What the heck
Every
is
day.
going on? Every day.
Every day.
So how do you keep yourself tempered?
It's not easy because I'm emotional just like everyone else.
Of course. Do you do a lot of yoga? Do you do breathing exercises? What?
I do a lot of walking.
There you go.
Which does
Boom.
help.
Yes.
I do a lot of walking. But I also have a lot of conversations with people that really know. So my background, because of my background, I still stay in touch with a lot of people in the industry. And so we have a lot of conversations. They help give me perspective. They help me sort of talk through why things are happening. The emotional part with my clients is very hard because I really care about my clients. I'm not one of those people, I just kind of throw things and then forget about them. So yes, I am waking up at 2:30 in the morning and stressing, but I have to keep telling myself, the reality is that this too will pass, and in the meantime you just have to manage your risk, and you have to know that time is everything.
Did you ever think Bear Stearns would go down
No.
as fast as they did?
No.
And as hard as they did?
No, and I had quite a few friends that worked for, at the time I was on the trading side, and I had quite a few friends at Bear Stearns and Merrill and Lehman, and they were really good people, and they got absolutely killed with that whole thing.
And it wasn't like you had time to prepare. It was...
Well, as people didn't believe it could happen.
Right.
There actually was a lot of time, if you really think about it. There was time, but
you
nobody
didn't wanna
actually
believe it.
believed that it could happen.
Nobody believed that it could happen.
And by
so
the time that reality came, it was too late.
It was too late.
Yeah.
What has been your biggest challenge as a professional financial advisor and in the financial industry, Catherine?
So I think my biggest challenge is literally taking the emotion out with my clients. Because one of the things that I found when I moved into the financial advisory side of the business, it's very personal. When you're on the trading side, it's not personal. And so although you have a lot of relationships, it's just different. When I started working with individuals, it became very personal very quickly. And that's been the biggest challenge, is to not let that sort of overwhelm me during periods like this, because I really stress about them. I want the best for my clients, and so that is a challenge.
Does it upset you that here you are, you've got 30 years, you've seen the Drexels,
A lot.
You've seen the ups, the downs, the October the 19th, you've seen 2006, 2007, and here comes a freshly graduate with an MBA, just touting and thinking that they know more than you do. That gotta piss me off.
Well, it doesn't, no, so it doesn't piss me off. I would say the biggest challenge that younger people have is that it doesn't matter whether it's this business or any business.
Yep.
They're highly educated, they're really smart, and they really do think they know everything. When I started, my generation, it doesn't matter what the industry, we started at the bottom and we worked our way up. So we learned our craft. A lot of these young kids come in and they just expect to start in the middle and go right to the top. And I think that's really a problem for them. And what you learn when you start at the bottom is you learn good instincts. You learn to think your way around problems, to know that you don't know everything and that you do have to learn it. And I think a lot of these kids, they're not going to get that opportunity. I think it will hurt them in the long run. Academically, very smart. On the life skills and the instinct, that's going to be a struggle for a lot.
Those are words of wisdom. That's the sage that I was looking for. There is a sense of entitlement in a certain generation that is coming up.
Yeah.
But when they listen, when they see this interview, they're going to go, wait a minute, maybe she knows something that we don't know. Maybe we should start a little bit further down the ladder.
Or take more time.
Or take more time.
Yeah, they all want to go right to the top. And I actually just met a young kid. He wouldn't want me to call him that, but he's a young guy.
Anybody that is younger than
us
is a kid, man.
Exactly. So he's in his mid-20s. He is one of the smartest kids that I've met in a long time. But he's smart not just because he's academically smart, but he really gets it. He gets that he has to learn. He has a lot of years to put in to get where he wants to go. He knows exactly where he wants to go, but he's willing to put the time in, and that is really rare.
And I've met somebody like that also who was a guest here for Entrepreneurs on Fuego. Spectacular guy, also gets it. And you know what? I feel like I'm your client, because if you inspire the same tranquility and the same peacefulness and the same confidence that I have now talking to you, if you inspire that to your clients, man, you can't not be successful like you are.
Well, thank you. Thank you.
It's my pleasure.
It would help if the market straightened itself out too, though.
Oh, look,
That would definitely help.
I don't know what's going to happen with the market. 300, 400 point swings.
Yeah.
You have to have a lot of fortitude to be able to withstand it. But you have that and serenity and the smarts and the sage to tell the younger generation, hey, be a little bit patient, learn, and things will work out all right.
Yeah, absolutely.
Did you enjoy the interview, man?
Yes, I did.
You did, huh?
That was fun.
Yeah, it was fun.
It was fun.
I learned a lot about
little nerve-wracking.
No, you're not nerve-wracking, man.
Oh, yeah, no, I am, believe me.
The market is nerve-wracking. This is nothing.
Yeah, right.
You're going to come back and let us know how the market is doing in about a year?
Yeah. Yes.
17,000, 20,000 Dow?
Probably not. Probably not.
What about oil, man? Is that ever gonna go
Yeah,
back up?
oil,
or what?
Yeah, I think oil's getting a lot closer to the bottom. We're not
30s?
there. No, it's already broken through 30.
Yeah, well, it went down below 30 actually, didn't
It
it?
still is below 30.
Is it still below 30?
Yeah,
I checked
yeah,
and it
it's
was
about-
still 30. Okay.
Well, I don't know, maybe today it went up a bit. But I think before it's over, it could get in the teens.
What?
Yeah.
Sell, sell, sell.
No, it's too late to sell.
Buy, buy, buy.
Wait, and then buy.
And with that, We're out.